about to head out and we're going to a movie. So I wanted to try and put something in the sous vide machine again. I'm going to try and attempt it again, but this time with a pork loin that I got from Costco. Yes, so I'm trying to get everything prepped before I leave for a movie. We are not going to be back probably till late afternoon. We will be eating lunch out because we're traveling about an hour to this movie theater, and pretty much dinner will be waiting for us. I really need to use up some vegetables I have. So I think I'm going to do some roasted vegetables and take it from there to go with the pork loin. Let's just hope it works. Okay. So I'm gonna get my items. So I got these 2 pork loins from Costco. They're pretty good size. I will say a really good tip. You don't have to get it from Costco. There are other grocery stores that sell them. If you can find, I mean, this was $13.57 for the 2 of them. So when you break down the price of that, that's a really good deal. And we can really stretch the budget. So I highly recommend a pork loin and then slicing it up. Depending on where you are, Kroger, Safeway, I guess Publix. I'm trying to think of what other chains they are throughout the country. Anyways, I know locally Safeway, I've seen it for like $6. I try to budget about $10 per meal.
When possible.
It's not always realistic, but this is a good way to stretch that dollar. I do feel a little frantic and rushed. I missed my shot yesterday. I've talked about it before, CMAX. Okay, I got my shot taken, so hopefully it'll help me calm down. Probably take an hour to kick in or so. Either way, total side point. I am going to attempt to prep this before we get out of here in about 30 minutes. All right, so I had gone to Costco and I found this spreadable butter. It's olive oil and sea salt. I used this before to make a spread for my salmon, which turned out really good and I was very happy with it. This was just an easy ingredient to use. So I'm going to do that again. I have a lot of fresh herbs from Trader Joe's. They're like $1.80 or something, which if you have a Trader Joe's or some sort of bargain place, highly recommend fresh herbs. Even if you can only buy one herb, buy fresh parsley. Doesn't matter if it's flat leaf Italian or the curly hair. Not curly hair, but the curly leaf parsley. Because fresh herbs just give a more heightened element to your dish. It helps you feel like you're eating something healthy. At a minimum, use 1 fresh herb. Parsley typically is the least expensive herb that I can find in the grocery store. You have cilantro depending on the dish that you're making, and you don't need a lot. All right, so I buy the big pre-peeled garlic and then I slice it up in my food processor. You could definitely do it by hand if you're trying to save some money. But if you ever buy the big bulk of garlic bulbs, and I slice it all up, they're in these cubes and I just keep them in the freezer. And when I think about it, it's a pretty good cost savings and it's lasted me for a really long time. Sometimes though, I do really want fresh garlic depending on my dish, like my guacamole. I need to have like fresh sliced. This frozen garlic can be really good in any dish that you are like a pasta sauce or a soup. I'm going to get a bowl and I'm going to start putting some of these elements in the bowl. All right, so goodness, I guess I'm going to do both. Might as well. So I think these 4 should be good. Getting my big stock pot out. This is what I'm going to use for my sous vide. I'm going to fill it with water. Now, on one hand, I kind of feel like I should be testing out my machine and make sure it works before I fill this up, but I won't know until I have water. This is the sous vide machine I got. I have no idea what it's called, what the brand is. I got it off Amazon. So to make sure that this isn't a waste of time, I'm going to test this out and make sure the machine works. Really hope it works. Okay, so I'm going to get some thyme, fresh thyme. If you have it, fabulous. If you don't need it, wash my herbs. And my tip to ensure that you are just go down against the leaves. Go down and then just break it in here. Go down, slides right off. And some of those more delicate It's fun. I don't know why I'm stopping myself from talking. It's fine to talk about that. I think I'm trying to focus, and going off on these random thoughts isn't going to help me focus. Now, rosemary with pork is probably one of my favorite herbs, dried, fresh. It's my favorite herb to go with pork. Same tactic, go down. Well, the top one for some reason just makes it harder on me. Okay. Sorry, got a headache. I get hemiplegic migraines and I think I'm rushing, and calm down, you know. Okay. I do find fresh rosemary can be quite overwhelming. So it's the one herb I don't think you need too much of. While I love the rosemary, I don't think I need too much of it. So I'm done with my herbs. And I am going to go ahead and put some parsley in there. I'm not going to chop it up though. It's fine. I don't need to chop it up. You need to clean it though. Watch it. I get that butter in here. Spreadable butter. That's very soft. I don't remember how much this was. Maybe 12 bucks. I don't know. All right. So now we're going to put all this together, and it probably would have been better if it was a little bit more melted, but I will say it does spread out pretty quickly. Could I put it in the microwave? Yes, you could put it in the microwave. I don't like just turn on the microwave. Defrost is the way to do it. How much would you put it on defrost? I don't know. I'm going to do that now. I'm going to put it.
It's in a metal pan.
Bowl. Never mind. I'm not going to do it. Good thing I figured that out. I'm going to put this away. Put it back in my refrigerator. I'm going to need some gloves. Definitely going to need gloves. Because I'm feeling rushed, I'm actually now going to do one. Just so I only have one to think. I'm already feeling a little bit of fluster as I'm rushing around. I'm going to be cutting this open. Oh. There's 2 in 1. Didn't expect that. Well, good to know. Okay, well, great. Trying to think this through. All right, I want to put this on a tray. Costco currently has this cowboy butter seasoning, and I've been enjoying it. So I'm going to use that. It's got a little bit of salt in it, but I find it's not enough salt. All right. I'm just going to use my hands instead of that fork because I don't got time for this. Sometimes it works better with your hands. So get in there. You know, that's why we wear gloves. Myself dirty. Okay. But I do, oh my goodness. It's finally melting a little bit, so probably the warmth of my hand. Like I said, that butter it is spreadable. So once you can get it kind of warm, helps a little bit.
I am making a horrible mess.
Okay, so let's put that in there like that. Now you might be thinking, well, what about all that other butter? We are going to try and get it in here. Okay, we're just going to put it in here. Such a mess. All right. Ugh. This is why you wash your hands. So that's why you have cleaning supplies. So let's try to squish this up in here. You know, this is just going to give this a beautiful, it's all going to melt. It's going to kind of poach it, so it's fine. Yeah,
this is a hot mess, but it doesn't matter.
Right? In the end, it doesn't matter how bad this looks. I'm trying to pump my own self up. It really doesn't matter. This is life, okay? So this is how it really looks when you're cooking. All right, let's go vacuum seal this. Okay, let me show you. Get this put in here, get it somewhat decent. That doesn't feel very sealed. I don't know. It doesn't seem as tight as I normally vacuum seal things, but I usually use different settings. So this looks like it has a nice seal on it. Look how good that looks. Okay, we're just gonna kind of smoosh it around. Okay. It's gonna be delicious. I can already tell it's gonna be delicious. So I'm gonna put my machine over here in this little corner. And I did recognize that it's probably best to put something underneath your pot because the pot. So I have this little wood platter thing. I don't know, I think I bought it from like Home Goods a long time ago for like $10. Okay, I'm gonna put that here. So when I put the pot, it won't hurt my counters. Well, I don't know what the countertop material is. I can't remember right now. All right, I got the big pot on top of the stand. I'm now going to plug it in. Machine turns on fine. I gotta set the temp. Oh, good, it works. Let me show you. That's the temperature it's currently registered at. This is the time I want. And then that 145 is the temperature that I want it to register at. So I'm going to take our tenderloin and we are going to put it in the machine. Yeah, just like that. Let me show you. Okay, there it is. In order to make it stay, what I do is I take a bowl and I fill it with water and then I put it in on top of this and it keeps it from floating on top. All right, so I have a bowl here and I'm gonna put it on top. Let me show you. Like so, and I'm just, thankfully my pot is, wait, why isn't that working? Oh, I remember, because I use a smaller bowl. Kind of just floats there. So yeah, see the temperature's already coming up. Well, I was reading at 111, now it's 116. All right, I'm going to a movie. What time is it? Oh my goodness, it's 8:58. Well, hopefully when I come back from the movies and dinner, and by the time we're ready to cook this, and what I mean by cooking it, my plan is to sear it to get a nice crust on the pork loin. Could I do it on my barbecue? Absolutely. Am I going to? Maybe. It depends. I don't know if I have charcoal. I can't remember. But I do have a Blackstone, a small one, that I could do it if I don't want to fry it up inside to get the smoke in the house and my smoke detectors to go off. So either way, I think it depends on the weather. We'll see. I don't know. My mind changes a lot because I get tired and then I just I try not to push myself too hard past my limitations. And what I mean by my limitations is that I need to listen to my body. And I think most of us who are neurodivergent and could expand that to mothers or fathers who, you just got to do what you need to do. You all know what that's like in life. So sometimes we just have to force ourselves through the discomfort. My lesson in life has been I have to be careful of my health. And when I push past exhaustion or stress, it triggers these headaches and my body kind of just shuts down. Sometimes I don't have a headache. I got sick last night. Don't know what happened. We went out to eat. I think there was too much oil in this food that we ate at. Anyways, we'll see what I end up with. It would be, I think, flavor-wise, really nice to, do the barbecue. Okay, I'm tired. I'm exhausted. Hopefully I'll be chilled when I'm in the car driving with my family. All right, thank you, and I'll be back later. All right. All right, I am back, and it's not the same day as it was when I was prepping this pork loin, which was on a Sunday morning. Now it is Monday. I never got hungry, so I ended up just putting the pork loin in the refrigerator. So I took it out of the water and I just put it in the refrigerator in this bowl, and everything is back. Put it in water again just so I can get the butter melted. So I can saute this. I'm just gonna saute it in the pan. I have tons of vegetables. I think I'm just gonna finish using my green beans, which is really easy, and I think garlic green beans is the way to go. So I'll show you how to do that. So I like green beans. I got tons of vegetables. I have different spinach, Brussels sprouts, and a bunch of green beans. I like these French beans. I got these from Trader Joe's. I probably should have gotten a smaller bag because it doesn't last as long quality wise. But anyways, I thought I would go through these much quicker. Anyways, I'll show you how I make them. I like to make a garlic string bean. So I got the sous vide machine going back on, trying to get it up to temperature 145 so that I can just get it somewhat warmed without having to be on the saute machine very long. Just realized, is this even on? Yes, it is on. All right, so putting it back in here, getting all warmed up. Let me show you. In the meantime, I'm going to rinse my green beans. All right, so I rinsed off my green beans and I'm just gonna put them in my deep, hold on, what do you call it? Saute pan, I guess. I am just getting home. It's 6:40, getting home from work, talking about how I didn't get to do my sous vide pork loin yesterday. We ended up going out for lunch and I had pre-made everything in hopes that we would have dinner prepared, but our plans ended up changing. So I did not serve up the pork loin. So I'm like, you know what? I'll just wait for tomorrow after work. I guess technically you could have kept the sous vide in the hot water, but that just sounded weird. What's the point? So I put it in, took it out, put it in the refrigerator, and now I'm getting it reheated to bring it up to temperature so that I can sear it off in a pan. While I'm waiting for that, I am going to make green beans. When I buy in bulk from Costco, I will slice onions and I freeze them on a sheet pan, put it in the freezer, and then once frozen, I break it all up and put it in a bag. So I think with my green beans, I'm going to do both onions and garlic. I also freeze my garlic. I dice it up in my food processor and then freeze it in a big bag, slightly like make indents and freeze it and then break it into pieces. I did this like 6 months ago, so I got tons. Because it's frozen, the flavor isn't as powerful. So I'm using about 3 big pucks. This is probably like a whole clove of garlic if you were to chop it up by hand. But it's not going to have the same intensity because it's frozen. So I feel like you can kind of get away with that. And then I'm going to do these frozen Walla Walla onions. So I'm going to turn this on and to a medium low heat, and I'm going to add some oil, good amount of olive oil. Let me show you. So yeah, I did a good amount of olive oil here. I got that on a medium low heat. All right, so I'm going to actually add my green beans in this situation. So I'm just gonna put my green beans straight into my pan with my frozen garlic and onion rings because there's a lot of water in here, and as that oil gets hot, it'll kind of splatter and make a lot of noise. So if I do this in advance, then I won't get as much splatter. I decided to do all of my green beans, just get them in here. To add some salt to this. So it's not necessary to have a starch, but I did buy these from Costco, and you can put it in a microwave or a skillet. What I end up doing is I do the microwave, then I do the skillet, just because it's easier to work with. I didn't realize you're supposed to vent this. Guess it would have helped if I read the directions. Squeeze pouch to separate rice. Tear 2 inches to vent. Microwave on high for 90 seconds. I'm surprised I need to open it beforehand. All right, well, follow directions. Now, when I do it in my skillet, I just make it a little bit more flavorful. I'll add some fresh lemon or some parsley, I have green onions, so I think I'm gonna maybe just add parsley because I got a bunch of onions and garlic in my green beans. But to add some liveliness to this pre-made food, I'm just gonna saute it up in some butter and olive oil, and then add parsley and salt and get some, maybe a little bit of lemon just to give it some brightness. All right, getting a little pan on here. This pan's getting warm. My green beans are done. The garlic and onions have a nice brown color to it. I like a little bit of a crunch to my green beans. Very flavorful. Got that red pepper in there, so that'll be nice. This is getting pretty hot. Actually, I don't even think this is hanging out. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here in this pan is just add some oil, olive oil, a little bit of a light, and I'm just gonna break up this, pouch. I'm not even gonna microwave it like I did before. So I'm just gonna put that in here. Is this the most cost-effective way to make a meal? No. That's why I'm always reluctant. One, I don't find these things very nutritional. Two, they seem kind of expensive. I don't remember exactly. I want to say $3 to $4 a bag. I mean, you can buy a whole bag of rice. So the only reason I'm doing this is because it's after 7 o'clock and I just want to get dinner on the table. So sometimes these shortcuts are helpful, and I didn't have any other like potatoes prepped. So it's just quick. I usually save this for, I don't want to say an emergency situation, but you know, last minute dinners. So I have some onions, some lemon. Just going to throw that in there to give it some liveliness. And you know what? Let's just throw some lemon in here. My green beans, why not? Sometimes I do that. That would be nice and lively as well, even though they're fresh, so I don't necessarily need it, but I don't want to waste this. I don't need too much parsley. Dice this flat leaf pretty as thin as I can get it, I guess, as small as I can get it. All right. No, I don't know if you can see that. But okay, just get this here, mix it up with the olive oil, the lemon, the parsley, get that all fresh and lively. It'll come off in your spoon. And I'm gonna put the lid on. My sous vide, the pork loin, is done. I left it in there a little bit longer than expected. I'm gonna take it out. All right. Smells really good. Very rosemary. Okay. Ooh, that's very tender. Not the prettiest looking thing, but it smells really good. Now I'm going to dry this off. That may seem strange, but I got all that liquid, so I'm just going to dry this off. Oh my goodness, that is soaking wet. Okay. Actually, this might fit. I don't think I need to cut it up. I'm wondering if yeah, let's just do it. This is definitely tender. Looking forward to trying that out. We'll see. It's done cooking. Well, let's try this out. That's what it looks like. It's not pretty, but this pan is searing hot. And I'm probably gonna need to turn up my fan, so probably not gonna hear too much activity from me because of this fan. This is searing up or sauteing. I'm going to stir it up. It's a little bit at the bottom there, but not too bad. It's not burnt or anything. It's just a nice little crunch in some of those pieces. A little texture, which I like texture. The thing I need to add to this is salt. All right, that looks good. So I'm just gonna put the lid on it, turn it off. I think I can turn off both of these items. Now, let me get, this pan is hot. I need some olive oil. And I think I'm gonna do avocado oil because that's a little bit higher burning rate. Oil, I'm gonna use my glasses as my safety glasses. Okay, that's why I wanted to rinse this off a little bit because of the splatter. If I was doing this in a barbecue, that wouldn't have been a problem. Okay, that one I just kind of moved this, let me show you. To kind of see how it was doing, I moved it around. See how that one kind of moved around and this one kind of didn't? This one is ready to flip. So I'm going to flip this, flip it. Ooh, nice color. That's a stark contrast in what it started out looking like. Nice. Here's my rice, green beans, and yeah, it's 7:19. I don't really like making these late dinners, but I did all this food prepping. I just need to do it. All right. This is, ooh, beautiful. I think the hardest part is the searing on the sides. This is going to be kind of hard. I'm going to have to hang out here forever, holding it. Really going to be interested what this looks like when I cut into it. Now, I'm going to let it sit here a little bit and rest. I have no idea what the outcome of this is going to be, so you're going to watch it with me. This is my first time sous vide pork loin, so I really didn't do much research. I think I tried YouTubing a couple of videos, and I don't even think I was able to do that successfully. I might have found one video that said 145, and so that's what I set the temperature at. I have my pan. You know what? Knowing my family, they probably like it grilled even after I cut it or sauteed. I'm thinking this through. Just getting out I just bought this spatula. It's a wood spatula. I was kind of skeptical of it, but it works nicely. Oh, that's nice. Great. I'm going to do it thick. This is really hot. That's good. These are beautiful. Extremely happy. All right. I am still going to sear this off in the pan, just to get some nice sear on it. Nice. Beautiful sear. All right, let me show you. finished plating up our meal plates. So that finishes searing. Go heavy on the green beans. I love vegetables. My daughter likes her vegetables, but it has to be cooked a very specific way for her to eat it. And I'm glad I can figure that out, and she loves it. I'm sure it helps that I've had to perfect what I'm willing to eat in order for her to be able to eat it. And that makes me very happy. All right. I will say I'm not someone who makes my food look tasty. I mean, like plating wise, but there we go. That's our meal. I think it looks really tasty. Should be a good meal. So it is 7:30. I think I started this at like 6:40, 6:30 as an hour. I'm sure I could have done this faster if this wasn't my first time and I wasn't recording a video. You come back on here, finish dinner. It was delicious. The daughter said it was very good. She loved the pork. She said it's her second favorite item, so definitely gonna make it again. It was very good, all of it. Beans, that rice, making it a little bit brighter. Definitely gonna add that to our rotation. So, thank you for watching. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, and I hope you found some helpful tips and some inspiration to have encouragement to do this yourself. Thanks again.